All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Megan. I'm so glad you're here with us for our paint class tonight. Hello to our friends that are with us on the live. Miss Jenny and Janice, thank you, ladies, so much for being here. Always so good to see you. For anyone that's not able to ever join our lives, I will always have the recordings available for you. But the lives, we kind of chit chat and have some fun. So glad you're here. Tonight, we are using acrylic paints and we're painting this really cute bear. I'm calling him the fall bear, but he is like has so much personality, and apparently it's a boy. You can determine your own gender here for your creature. That happens. But there's a few things that you're going to need for our class. If you have a canvas board, acrylic paper, I'm painting on 11 by 14 acrylic paper today. I am using just really basic craft brushes. So always roll up your sleeves so you don't get paint on your clothes. I am using a 1/2 inch flat tip brush and then a couple other rounder tip brushes. You'll need a small brush for like some fur-like detail. So if you have a smaller brush, find one with a nice fine point. We're going to play with a little bit of fur detail. It's going to have like light to it. It's going to be really fun. But definitely have a big brush too for the background. Okay. In addition to your brushes and your what you're painting on, you'll need a small plate to mix colors. You'll need a cup of water to rinse your brushes. So I always have that stuff right here. I'm a lefty, so I always have things to the left of me, which is helpful. And then I have paints. I have a yellow paint, red and blue, white and black. I can mix anything from these colors. If you have any of those fancy paint sets and you have purples and greens and oranges, awesome. But if you don't have those colors, I can always teach you in these classes how to make them, which is really fun. In addition to the supplies I've mentioned, if you happen to have a pencil handy, we're going to paint the entire background first, which is going to be really fun. But then we're going to do a little bit of the bear sketching so you get the size bear that you want, and then we'll paint the bear in. But we'll do that sketching after. So just take your pencil and kind of put it aside for right now. And I'm going to put my brushes over here too. But I'm so glad you're here with us. I'm going to tuck this bear right over here. I'm going to put him under here so we can go ahead and get started. But you can still see him because he is so cute. All right, so there's the bear. I might put this water on his head, but I'll move it. I probably asked her. All right, so we're going to start by painting the background first. So in the inspiration, you can see that there is oranges, like yellowy oranges, orange, and then reds. We're going to be creating that kind of ombre scene, and then we're going to have a little bit of a ground. So we're going to first create like a yellowy orange, what you want one of your like lightest and kind of brightest colors to be. So I'm going to grab my yellow paint, and I'm kind of doing 2 spots of yellow. I'm going to make this one like a little more yellowy, and I'm going to make this one a little bit more orangey. So just mix a color that you like. Again, you want it to be on the yellowy side. Grabbing my red. Excuse me. And I apologize for my voice. I feel okay. I just don't sound great. Besides like the little cough I have. But I'm going to put a little red nearby so I can grab a little as I go. That's a lot of red. I'm not going to use all that right now, but I'm going to grab it and go. So I'm going to take the biggest brush I have. I'm going to get it a little bit wet. And I'm just going to bring a little bit of red into this first yellow. A little bit of red will go a long way. I'm going for like an orange, yellowy orange color, kind of on the more yellow side. So just a little bit of red. You can always change this color. So I made a lot of this just so I don't run out. And that's a great color. It looks very orange on the camera. It's a little lighter in person. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of like ombre. So a little bit of a clouded window. So I'm going to just show you for fun a little bit of this structure I'm creating. So see how it's like a little bit of a U? And this is going to kind of bring our eye to the center. And I'm just being really kind of fun and abstract. If you want to do fun and abstract textures, you can like have fun with me. But see how this is like curved? I'm going to do all of this up here all the same color. So all of this is all going to be the same color. I'll shift this up a little bit for you. There. So this is all going to be this orangey color. It's going to get a little more orangey as they come down, but this is going to be all this color. You can fill this in any way you want. I'm going to have fun today and just be a little abstract. I don't want to see any white though, so any way you want to fill this in, just have fun. You can leave a little bit of white if you want, but this is just a solid kind of fill color. And I'm just kind of going like X's, like left, right, just kind of having fun. Don't be afraid and just take your time. We're going to paint the background first. I like that this like a different texture. It's kind of fun. Fun and easy. So you can just, I'm doing like left, right, kind of like little X's, thick little X's, but it can be anything. Just take a couple minutes to settle into the process. Everyone has different levels, like different skill sets, different styles coming into our classes. So I always encourage you just to kind of embrace your own style. This is a little bit of like an abstract background. If you wanted to keep it simple, you could just paint this like a plain color using like horizontal or vertical brush strokes. I'm doing this intentionally for texture, but this is where, as an artist, you can always explore new ways to apply your paint. So I like talking about it so you can make the right choice for you. But I don't want any white to show. So for me, this may visually look like a bunch of like little leaves kind of falling down, or just like a busy background. Maybe not just so simple. So art is always up for your own interpretation, and this is just kind of a fun way to be playful and apply color. There's a lot of ways to apply color. And I'm just going to do this whole area. We're going to be working light to dark with our background today. So this is going to be one of the lighter colors that we use. How fun. And I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm so glad you're taking a little bit of time for yourself. I hope you all have had a great weekend. I was counting the days to Thanksgiving. And it's like, less than 2 weeks. It's so crazy. And I was talking to my son about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like such a fun tradition we have in our family. And I asked him, he's 6. I said, Asher, do you remember the parade we watched last year? Obviously, I'm 40 years old and I've been watching it my entire life. And I'm like, do you remember? And he goes, and I told him, he goes, oh yeah, the parade. And I'm like, okay, you're slowly starting to remember. It was really cute. All right, so I'm just filling in this whole background. So, and then he goes, it was so cute. He goes, Mom, we should go in person. I'm like, you're right, we should go in person, but it takes a lot of planning. A lot of planning and a lot of money. So we got to work towards that. I think it's all about like booking like that hotel early so you can be in your hotel room and not have to stand outside. Like that's my dream. Like I want the terrace that I can go out and be on the balcony, but I can go inside and have my charcuterie board with my mimosa. Like that's what I want. I want to be warm and happy and see everything. That is my dream too. It is, Janice, let's go. But you guys, it's all about place, right, Janice? Like that's the trick. Like where do you go, And you have to book those like well. I know. If I ever figure it out, I'll let you know, okay? Totally. So I'm just coming down. I want these to be even on the left and the right just because I try to be visually even. So I'm just going to try to I'm going to bring this down just a little bit lighter too. See, I'm just kind of softening this down. I'm going to get ready for the next color. The next color is going to be like a blood orange. And we're going to kind of go on top of this a little bit. So how fun is that? That came out so fun. So what does a blood orange look like? This orange, I'm pretty done with it. What I'll do is if you want to take a little bit of this and put the horizon line down here, you can do a long line down here. This is where the bear is going to stand. So if you want to put a line with this yellow, and if you want to do like a little bit of brush strokes down here, I'm going to make this a little lighter, but if you want to paint some like of this horizontal down here, just to kind of get some color in, we're going to make it a little lighter down here. But if you want to put in a little bit of ground cover, again, we'll make it a little lighter. If you have extra paint, you can use that for down here. But this is the ground. And again, this will be lighter. We're going to add a secondary color. But if you wanted to take a minute to do this. Feel free. If anybody watching this video has done the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you put your tips for Janice and I in that chat, because in the comments for YouTube. You tell us, because we need to know how to do it and where to book. Okay. So I'm trying to make the ground as straight as possible. I'm not very good at this part. I'm at least painting in front of my canvas today, ladies, and not from the side. Whenever I paint from the side, something always comes out crooked, and I just embrace my imperfections at that point, but it's all right. So then we're going to do a blood orange. So once your ground is painted, no rush, but I'm going to take a little bit of this red and just make this just a little darker. See how I'm making like a third color here? And I'm just going to kind of do this fun, same texture. You can kind of turn your brush a little bit. You can kind of smatter it in like there's little leaves. Like, have fun. Put like little kind of leaves kind of tucked in like they're falling from the sky. You can get a little artsy here, okay? This is the background. So cute. Any way you want to play. Oops, that's the red. Don't put red in, Megan. That's not a good idea. Any way you want to play with just turning the tip of your brush. Try pushing down a little harder. Try going a little softer. Play with this texture. But we're creating a little bit of like an ombre, like one color is kind of fading into another. The bear is going to go on top of this, but this is kind of our fun background. And I'm going right on top of the edge of the yellow. And I'm doing the same, just kind of texture. You can see some of my brush strokes. That's fine. This is all for fun, right? But I'm playing with my textures tonight, the visual texture, not like the physical texture. There is like a little bit of brush strokes so you can physically see, but I'm playing with the visual texture as well as the physical texture. And if you want to just we'll paint some leaves on here, which will be a nice accent, but I'm kind of bringing these up from the left to the right just a little bit. But I'm just using the tip of my brush. You don't have to go too crazy if you're using kind of a bigger brush. And you can fill in as much or as little of the white as you wish, but I'm kind of following this ring here. And I'm just trying to make it visually even. The bear is going to go right in the middle anyways, so you can kind of come up as high or as low as you want. I'm just going to come up a little higher because the bear is going to go in the middle anyways. And you can decide if you want to come up a little higher on the edges. And you can always do more of this like exterior kind of around the bear work after if you want to. And then you can finish out this bottom area any way that you wish. I'm going to add red, but it's going to be kind of a darker red. So kind of, I don't want to say like a burgundy or like a crimson maybe. So I'm just going to get a little bit of black paint and just add a tiny bit of black to my red. And if you wanted to make your orange a little darker, you could do the same thing. So artwork is always about layers and progression. So you can kind of pick and choose what colors you want to use along the way. So I'm just going to show you what this color looks like. This is really cool contrast. I'm not going to go too dark. This might be a little dark, so I can always lighten this. And I'm just having fun. And I'm going to try to stay above my ground. And I'm kind of just mixing kind of what I have and just playing with the colors by eye. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I'm just doing kind of a nice smooth brush stroke right along the ground. But you can play with the texturing. Any way you want to fill in this background, feel free. I'm just here to show you some different tips and tricks along the way. So it's a little fiery, but it can be very fall-like. We'll add some more leaves on top, but this is just kind of a fun textured background. And there's some like kind of cool splatters in here, so you can always do some secondary texturing, like if you want to change it up a little bit. So we're going to spend a few minutes just, I want you to be happy with your background, so just take your time. There's some kind of lighter color splatters on top that I'm going to do just because, hey, why not? Which is in the inspiration, which I really like. So I'm just adding in a little bit more kind of golden colors just to my eye. I'm just kind of playing with blending visually kind of one layer to another just by doing some dabbing techniques. Now, some of you might be doing really smooth, clean brush strokes. That's totally fine. I'm playing with this like dabbing texture tonight just because I can. So just fill in all the way down to the grass. And my line keeps getting more uneven and shorter, so I'm just going to go nice and slow and try to refine this. I get too excited sometimes. And I can always use a little bit of a touch up after. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of like lighter reflections. It's very orangey and yellowy, but that's fine. I'm going to add some white kind of fun splatter on top in just a minute, which is going to be kind of fun. The other thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of white on my plate and mix. I just ordered more paint and I realized that I hadn't taken it out of the boxes yet. Like, I need my other white paint. Where did it go? So I'm mixing like a light yellow, light orange color, ladies, to highlight the ground. So I just put some white paint on my plate and I'm going to, I'll mix a nice soft color that's going to just brighten it, like lighten it, not like make it brighter per se. So I'll show you what color I'm going to make. I'm taking the white, I'm going to mix it right here. And what I'm going to do with this is put it right here in the middle. This is where the bear is going to stand. And I'm creating a nice light area. I'm using the side of this big brush. I'm going right up against this line and I'm just going to add a little bit of lightness to this area. It doesn't have to be painted in perfectly even, but see, I'm creating just a little bit of lightness here. It's going to bring our eye to his feet. Kind of break up that bright yellow a little bit. So if you want to play with adding a little bit of this, you can use a really soft hand, some horizontal brush strokes. See how it broke up your eye a lot? This is just yellow and white, maybe a little of the orange. You can choose. The bear's going to stand on this, but you can see it just kind of, it's creating a spot in the middle. See how your eye's drawn towards the middle? So it's kind of fun and different. And while that's drying, I'm going to mix like a dark red color. And I'm just going to hand paint on just a few leaves. With a small brush. Like they're falling from the sky. So once you're happy with your background, I'm just going to hand paint a few leaves using like a dark red. I'm going to just do, and my leaves are not perfect, but you can kind of have them be as straightforward, or if you want to just have like a side of a leaf. falling. I'm just going to paint a few falling from the sky on the sides. If you want to just do like an orangey color and not like a red color, that's fine. And they could just be kind of like faux looking leaves. They don't have to be like real. They could be abstract. So see how some of these look a little abstract? I'll hold it a little closer so you can see how abstract they are. They're different sizes, right? When leaves fall, they're not looking perfect, right? So I'm just going to do a few, just kind of dancing down. So maybe some are a little longer, maybe some flutter to the left, maybe some flutter to the right. These are just like a little accent detail. It's super cute. I'm just going to do some over here. Some can have like, you know, the full shape. Some can just be like a little bit of a wisp. But do like a big one and a little one. Have a little pointy edge on one. So you can see they kind of look like leaves falling down, which is kind of neat. Just little abstract shapes. If you want to mix in like a little bit of an orange colored one, you can mix in a little bit of an orange colored one. Totally up to you. But it kind of makes look like there's little leaves falling down. And I'm going to do white splatter on top of this to just really lighten this up. It's going to look really different and funky. If you don't want to do the splatter, that's fine. But take a few minutes and paint those leaves if you want to. I don't want to rush you. So I'm not going to add too many. I have kind of just a little smattering of leaves. And I'm going to bring this closer. From far away, it looks very professional. Up close, it looks very fourth grade. But it's abstract and it's okay, right? It's all about interpretation, and that's what I'm going for. Are there any on the ground? There's some on the ground too, so maybe I'll put some on the ground. You can always do this after too, the ones on the ground, but I'm just going to do them now just because I can. And it kind of looks like whatever's falling from the sky is actually landing on the ground. Imagine that. So look, there's just a couple leaves that are on the ground, which is kind of fun. And again, the bear's going to go in the middle, so I'm kind of doing them on the left and the right. And I have just a little highlighting down here. You can always add more white highlighting after if you want to tuck in more. It's totally fine. And these leaves are just little lines here and there. It's kind of fun. It's a little bit of a scene we're creating. But I want to thank you so much for being here. If you are new to our channel and this is one of the first videos that you're watching, I encourage you to subscribe, which means you'll get notifications when new videos are launched. I also encourage you to use the chat, ask any questions, and join our Patreon community. We share our artwork with one another. We have a wonderful group of people that join our live classes that connect every week or every couple weeks. It's so fun. We always love seeing you. Love this. And I always will encourage you to go at your own pace. Everyone, you know, some people paint a little slower. Some people paint a little more quickly. Just you do you. And always incorporate your own personal style into our artwork. These classes are not about you copying me. It's about you taking the work that I'm doing and making it and turning it into your own. But if you ever have your own ideas that you want to incorporate, I always encourage you to add in your own ideas along the way too. So with art, you always just want to be yourself and be open-minded to the possibilities of what you could create. And I love talking about those values and principles in these classes because it opens your mind to the different things you can create as an artist, or even if you're practicing like as a creative person, right? So just be open-minded to what can happen. It's really fun. It's very liberating. It's something that you're in control over. There are many things in our life that we are not in control over. So with art, we have a lot of choices we can make, and it's really fun to know that. All right, so I'm going to have some fun with a little bit of white splatter. I don't know how it's going to go with this brush, but I'm going to be open-minded to it. So I'm going to mix, if you want to watch me first, you can decide if you want to do this or not. I don't know how this is actually going to go, but I'm taking a little bit of water and a little bit of white paint, and I'm making kind of a milky consistency. And this paint's really thick, so I'm just kind of mixing it around and getting it ready. I want to make sure there's no thick paint on my brush. I want to make sure it's very kind of soft and water-like. That will help this paint to splatter. If you don't like this technique, you don't have to do it. This is optional, but I always love experimenting in these classes. It just shows you that sometimes cool things can happen, or happy little mistakes, right? So I have a little bit of watery paint. I am going to just do, you can either slap your brush down, like whip it down, or you can use like a finger flicking technique. I'm going to do the finger flicking technique. This is my like 1/2 inch brush. I'm going to use my pointer finger and I'm just going to splatter it down. Oh God. Yeah, that works. I'm going to get a little more water. It's very like small splatters, which is fine. So you can get closer to it if you want. I'm going right on top of my leaves because why not? I'm going to try like the whole like wrist flick. Wrist flick is going to give you thicker. I'm just going to continue the finger flicking. It's just kind of secondary texture. It's fun. I like it. Sometimes with art, having 2 different textures can really add a lot of personality to your painting. So I'm doing it kind of all over. It may scare you, but the white is going to be a really fun contrast. The bear is going to be dark in color. And you can still see all the work you did. You could call this snow, ladies. It's not really snow, but it's more of like an artistic spray. I wouldn't call this snow because it's definitely a fall scene, but it's kind of like a fun artistic accent to it. And I like it a lot. It's super cool. Okay, cool. I'm going to add some down below too because why not? Ooh, yeah. So I'll hold this up close. I'm going to wash my finger. So my finger got a little messy. It's okay. So we have paper towels. Comes right off. Acrylic paint comes right off. If you ever get acrylic paint on your clothes, I always encourage you to just go excuse yourself. Soap and water, it should come out immediately. But otherwise, yeah, take care of it quickly. I'm going to hold this up close so you can see my amount of splatter. Super fun. So just enough. I love the accent and the detail. So I'm going to give this a minute or 2 to dry. I want my whole canvas to be dry before we sketch. So I'm going to keep an eye on the clock. You guys take as much time as you want here. I'm not going to rush you. Go ahead and take, solid 4 or 5 minutes to do any updates to your background, refine any of your leaves. We're going to let the background dry entirely. If you wish to, grab a palette and wave something around for it to dry more quickly, you can do that. We did this fun waving technique in our watercolor class. Janice is adding more spray. I like that, Janice. All right. And I'm going to keep an eye on the clock. Take your time. Have fun with these steps, okay? Enjoy yourself. We got through that background pretty quickly, but all these details, it's so fun and important to take as much, time as you need so you're happy with it. I want your eye to be, satisfied with your work. And I think I have enough splatter. I'm just going to leave it for right now. I want it to dry. I have like a big wet spot in the middle, which is like the worst spot because I'm going to put the bear right there. So I need to make sure this little white spot dries. And you know what? I'm not even going to see this white spot right here. So I'm just going to blot it up because I'm going to put the bear right there anyways. So anywhere kind of right here in the middle, you can blot it. Like if you have anywhere really wet, the bear is going to go right here in the middle. And he is going to be so cute. So excited about our bear. We are going to sketch our bear with a pencil. I might grab a Sharpie to do outlining just in case you need it. I suggest you use a pencil at home and not a Sharpie. I do Sharpies in these classes so you can see the lines, but do not use that at home. Unless you're doing it as like an accent. You can use Sharpies to accent things anytime you want, which is really fun. I have my brushes right here, ready to go. But I'm going to give everybody 4 more minutes. We want these backgrounds to dry. I'm looking at the clock. 40 minutes after the top of the hour, we will start the sketching process. If you want to start sooner, that's fine, but I want to give you plenty of time. But I want to thank you for being here. So good to see everybody. Such a fun and different inspiration. So cute. I have a little bit of wetness, but I'm pretty close. But again, we're going to take our time. I have a little bit of wetness right here, but you can even blot it if you have any little. I have some of my oranges were thick when I was doing texturing. Pretty close. But I'm going to give everybody 2 full more minutes, so take your time. Take your time. All right. And if anyone is new to our classes, we typically go back and forth between acrylic and watercolor classes. I love teaching both style classes because they both can do a lot of different things. So I encourage you to join us again for another class. And if you're ever inspired to paint certain things, I love incorporating your ideas into our classes. So one thing to share is for some of our fall classes, sorry, people have been interested in like adding pumpkins in and pumpkin scenes. So if you are interested in adding a tree or adding pumpkins as like secondary elements to this, you can do it after. I would say add your bear first. And then if you want to add like a tree on the side or a birch tree on the side of your bear or a pumpkin or two, or an apple tree, add those after. If your bear is the primary, you can always expand your painting by adding additional elements. So some people requested to add some pumpkins in. I thought this was so cute, very fall-like, but still very with the fall leaves. But if you wanted to add pumpkins, you're welcome to add pumpkins. Okay. I'm just gonna wait 1 more minute and then we'll do some sketching together. I will grab my inspiration here from under my water cup so we can look at this together. Ooh, I can see it happening. Bear's kind of boxy, isn't it, Jenny? He's a little boxy bear. He's got a big head and he's got broad shoulders. His little feet. So we got to get his feet right. He's got chubby, short little legs and little feet. Okay. Little short legs. Yes. So I'm going to put this over here gently so we can look at it as we're sketching. So I'm going to do first sketches with a pencil and then I will outline the bear with a black marker so you can see it. But his feet, look where his feet are on the ground. They're on the ground. They're not like above this line. They're below. So if you want to do like 2 small lines for like where you want his feet to be, and from a distance perspective, you're welcome to do that. So I'm going to do 2 lines for the bear's feet, and you can play with the distance in between. So I just did 2 little lines down here just to kind of get going. And if you kind of want to go upwards a little bit, we could start with the feet if you wanted to. If you want to kind of get his legs in. To Jenny's point, his legs are really kind of short and stubby. So if you want to do, you know, a line for his feet, we can draw his feet underneath the lines. But if you want to play with the leg shape, you could do that with your pencil. Oh my gosh, my pencil is not behaving. I need to get another one. Let's see. Okay, let's try this one. There, so I have a little bit of a pencil here. So you can play. Sketching can be difficult. I will outline this after. I will zoom down. You're probably not going to be able to see it very well, so I promise I will outline it when I'm done. Okay, and then if you want to do the bear's feet for me are pointing both to the left. So maybe have them, and the head is going to be pointing to the left. So if you want to play with that detail, you can. Oh boy. So I have a lot of erasing to do. That's the nice thing. Once acrylic dries, you can erase pencil on top, which is really nice. Okay, those aren't too bad. It's not the best, Jenny, but that's all right. All right, so then you can kind of sketch your bear out on top of that. So I'm going to try to find his shoulders, and I'm going to come out a little wider, and I'm just going to kind of do the side of his body and kind of come down to the back of the leg. And I'm going to try to say, okay, well, if his scarf is right about here, he's kind of round and square-ish, okay? Oh boy. Sketching is hard, so just be really kind to yourself. His body does come out over the front of his leg a little bit, and it's kind of straight in between his legs. God, it kind of looks like he's wearing a coat, Jenny, but he's not. All right, I'm going to outline this for you as soon as, and his head kind of comes right up from his neck and it rounds. And don't worry about his snout for right now. I'm going to put a little ear, and I'm going to outline this for you guys in just a minute. Oh boy. His ears are way too big. I have a good eraser. My eraser is not very good. All right, I'm going to outline the body so you can at least see the body with my Sharpie. Do not do this at home. Oh yeah, these bears are full of it. That's for sure. So this bear his body's got to connect to his leg. He looks like he's wearing a coat, Jenny. All right, you are not wearing a coat. You're just furry, man. Okay, so there's my bear's body. It's kind of boxy and rounded-ish, okay? It's more boxy towards the bottom. These are his feet. My feet aren't very good, but that's all right. I'm just going to embrace it. Okay, so there's my feet. My feet are both pointing one direction. It came over a little bit. I'm going to give him a little bit of an arm. Oh, God. I'm not happy with his head yet, so I'm not going to draw the head and do the Sharpie yet. I got to erase his ear. Okay. I might have to paint over some of his ear that I did. So the back of the head, his head can kind of dip down a little bit. The side of the head, it's not too round. It's really, It's almost oval. It is almost oval. Yeah, he's very round, but he's boxy at the same time. Okay. This ear is way too big. His ears are pretty small. My ears that I drew are way too big. He looked like Mickey Mouse. I'm like, this is not Mickey Mouse. This is a bear. So I'm erasing my ears. And the neck kind of comes out a little bit on the left. Oops. There goes my eraser, my pencil. So it kind of comes, I kind of went in. It's got to come out a little bit on the left. You did? I haven't yet. Let me see. It's kind of small and rounded a little bit. That's not too bad. I had to look at the picture and kind of... It's hard, yeah. It's a little tricky. So look at the inspiration. I know. Okay. One ear is way bigger than the other, but I'm just going to fix it a little bit. Oh boy. Animals can be hard. Like, let's talk about it. We're all human, right? Animals are so hard, but it's really fun to try, right? Just erase any lines. This is why we're doing sketching up front. This ear's so big. Okay. I'm going to sketch the head. The head's okay, so I'm just going to sketch it.
I haven't done the nose yet.
No, I'm going to do the nose after. Yep. Yep. And he's got an arm too, exactly. So there's the bear's body. And then the arm kind of starts, my scarf is right about here. The arm just kind of comes out a little bit. There. He's got a little baby arm sticking out. We'll do his other arm on top of his body. There, he's got a little arm. It's like a one-armed penguin right now. Okay, so I'm really not happy with these ears, but I'm just going to show you them anyways, just because why not? So there's my ears. And then the scarf for me, it's a little higher on the right, and it's going to come down a little on the left. And it can be as thick as you want. So there's my scarf. It's higher on the left. It is what it is. The arm for me is going to come on the body. So if you want to do, I'll do a little bit of arm with my pencil first. Let me see. Kind of use my imagination here. We're going to be filling a lot of this bear in with black. So this arm is, it's going to look something like that. And then the nose, it's kind of on the left side, and it's going to kind of come down the snout. It's going to come off the page and down, and then kind of straight back on. And it's going to kind of round. So this is going to take a little bit of sketching and a little patience. Mine looks like a duck. Do not do what I just did. It's terrible. And it's going to be kind of higher. Wow. And it's like kind of boxy. So let's just try to fix this. So you want to just do the snout. I think mine needs to come over more. So you don't want the nose or the snout to be in the middle of the head. Mine was in the middle. Try to have the snout more on the left side of the head. So I'm going to bring my snout over a little bit more. Oh, that's hard. And it can kind of bend back to the right a little bit. And it's a little rounded. I'm going to draw the nose on my snout to try to help me with the positioning. That's helpful. Draw the nose on the snout. It will help you, ladies, with the shape so you can see it. You can see it better. Yeah, you can kind of like imagine it actually filled in.
Yeah.
I'm going to outline mine. It's not great, but I'm just going to show it to you. And I'm going to outline my nose. Okay? So the nose goes off, the nose and snout can go off the bear a little bit. Okay. If you want to sketch in the scarf, the middle of the scarf here, because we're not going to paint that black, you can hold space for it. So I'm just going to, I drew it, I'm just going to outline it so I know not to paint this in. There. So that's my scarf, okay?
Oh yeah, right. You don't want to paint over.
You don't want to paint that in. Yeah, you want to leave it as light as possible. So drawing and sketching can be really hard. Just always take your time. with this, and since the bear's ear on the left is smaller than the ear on the right, because it's kind of, his head is turned, so it's a little farther away.
Right.
So take a few minutes with this sketching. And you can see it's kind of nice. The printed inspiration is kind of right next to it, so you can kind of see side by side. I'll bring it a little closer.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and when you kind of take a step back and you're like, what is wrong about this line? Is it angled the wrong way? Is it too wide? Is it, this or that? It's tricky.
His feet weren't lined up right, so it was making the whole thing cocked sideways.
Mm.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I had the feet too far left.
Ah.
It's hard to, when the paint's a little shiny
Yes.
to see the lines. Sometimes that's where you gotta step back.
Mm-hmm. This is so fun. I'm going to take a picture of this step because it might help people in the future with the structure of the bear.
Yeah.
Nice. There we go. I'll post that on Patreon so people can see it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll post it in our chat. But I want you guys to take your time with this step. I want you to get the sketch right so then you can fill it in with ease. Because it's fun being able to fill it in. It's a little less stressful, So fun. All right. So take your time with the sketching. I'm going to go ahead and grab kind of a medium size brush. For me, this bear is just going to be dark in color. So if you wanted to make a brown for a brown bear, you could. If you want to just do a black bear, that's fine. I might have fun with it. I have a little, I have red here and yellow. I might make a brown and add a little bit of black to it. But your choice on what colors you want to use. So I have a little bit of black here. I have a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. I'm going to mix red, blue, and yellow together to get brown. And then I'm going to add black to it. So it's just like a darker brown color. So I'm just going to have fun with my color mixing. You can just do black as well. That's totally fine. But I'm going to just do a little bit of a brownish black just because that's what I'm feeling like. So I mixed my brown. I'm just adding a little bit of black. It's going to be pretty much a dark black bear, but I want to have a little bit of fun with the brown touch. It will be dark in color. And mix enough so you don't run out. And just take your time. If you're still working on the sketch detail, do that as long as you need to. And then I'm just going to start kind of filling my bear in. You may need 2 coats. It depends on the quality of your paint. Stay in between the lines. I will do 2 coats. Do not paint the scarf. I'm leaving a little spacing around the arm just so I can see where my lines were. It's not too big of a deal if you don't want to do that. So you're not going to paint the snout, but you can paint the nose. The snout is going to be a tan color. But use a brush that you're comfortable with the size. I'm kind of using a round, a small round tip brush just to get some nice clean lines in. I'm going to do a second coat on top of this. So I'm not being perfect with my brush strokes. Doesn't need to be because we're going to do a second coat anyways. There we go. But always take a couple deep breaths and enjoy the process. I'm so glad that you're here with us. This is all about the journey of painting and trying these new things, using some of your favorite colors, trying new techniques. Drawing can be hard, so I applaud you for trying. And if you are watching this video on YouTube, please like this video. It helps circulate these videos to other people that are looking for tutorials. So the more you can subscribe and like my videos, the more visibility YouTube will give my channel so other people can find these videos too, which is kind of fun. We have lots of people from all over the country and world that join, so I'm so glad that our live ladies are with us and that we have someone new watching as well. It's really fun to be a part of an artist community because we all bring our own personalities and styles and we all like different things. So it's always fun to get to know other styles and figure out our own and refine our own style, right? So we can do more of what we like. And you can bring those techniques and those styles and your ideas to all of our classes. And it's really fun to watch your skills evolve as we all practice new things together. So my bear is like really coming to life here. I'm going to do a second coat, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm going to paint my ears black, or this brownish black color. The body, the head. Scarf is staying transparent. The snout is staying transparent. And I'm using a smaller brush so I stay right in the lines. I'm going to paint both arms. And acrylic typically dries pretty quickly, which is nice, unless you have like large kind of goopy areas. We're going to do some really fun bear-like texture, fur-like texture on top of the bear. If you want to leave it plain solid color, that's totally fine too. You can do your scarf any design or colors that you wish. In the inspiration, it's plaid, which can be pretty tricky because it requires really straight lines. But if you want to try a plaid design, that's totally up to you. So if you want to do, one coat of your bear and go and paint the nose or go and paint your scarf, that's fine. So there's different points of these classes where you kind of go at your own speed, but you can kind of work on different things. This is one of those times where you can kind of bop around where you want to. I have the bear color, so I'm just doing a second coat on the bear while I have it on my brush. Because it's dry enough, acrylic dries pretty quickly. It's dry enough for me to paint. If I need to do any touch-ups after, I can, but 2 coats is perfect. Don't forget to paint your bear's nose. Nice. I'm just going to let my bear dry. He's not perfect. I got to do his legs and his body. But I can let it dry and just go paint the scarf maybe. The scarf can maybe have like a lighter background color and you can do darker colored accents on top of it. that will make it easier. But the colors in this scarf are like oranges, and there's some like purples. So maybe we do like, Jenny would probably like that. I do a little purple on the rare scarf. Can we cut up pretty? But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up my brush. I'm going to do like, I'm going to add a nice contrast. So I'm going to do like a nice light orange for the background of the scarf. It also helped color some of those background colors too. So I'm going to do a little bit of white and a little bit of orange for like the background color of the scarf. And I might just paint the whole scarf that color. So it's all a single color. And then I may, and I have a little bit of pencil that I'm going over. My light just went out. Hold on one second. So if you want to paint your scarf a background color first, I encourage you to do that. I'm going to do like a lighter color, and then I'm going to do like some oranges and maybe like a little bluish purple as like another design on top. I'm not sure yet. Let's see how this goes. My brush is a little watery, which is diluting the paint. So for me, I want to make sure, oh, because I have my whitewash right there. That's why it's happening. I want to make sure my paint is nice and thick in color, full kind of transparency, because I want to paint over this background a little bit right here. There we go. I just want the scarf to have a nice solid background color. That's what is important to me. I'm going to do the same down here. And again, I'm intently going a little lighter because I'm going to add darker colors to it. And if you want to be really meticulous with your scarf, you can do like a solid color like I am. And then you can let it dry. And then if you wanted to, you could use your pencil and sketch lines on it. Or you can freehand. My cat is like freaking out upstairs. It's so funny. I don't know what she's doing. Silly cats, full of personality. All right. I don't know what's going on. All right, so my lines are getting a little messy here. I'm just trying to go. There we go. So I just have some nice solid colors in here. I'm going to go right on top of this black line right here, because I can always paint on top of it. And if you want to do 2 coats of this scarf color, you can. You can also use like this orangey color for the snout too. And then we can add a little contrast to it, which is kind of interesting. If you're doing the snout, just be careful near the edges of the bear, the black or the brown. Oops, don't do that, Megan. Because I don't want it to mix. So I'm going to paint the snout this color, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to it after. And I need some nice, I'm going to just do this nice solid color right here. And I'm going to have the underside of the nose is going to be a little more brown. So I'll take this orangey color and I'll make it a little more brown for the underside, but I'm just going to do this basic coat first. And I have some black lines showing right here. So I'm just going to, through the nose, where the edge of the bear is right here. So I'm just going to let this dry. I'm not going to touch it anymore. But I can think about what I want to do for the scarf design as it's drying. So let's see. I'm going to find a small brush. And I have a little bit of red here. I'm going to make kind of like an orangey red. So anyway, this is where you can kind of go at your own speed here. I'm finding like an orangey, blood orange red. And I'm just going to do some of these lines. So like one way to do plaid is just to start out. I'm just going to do some like long rectangular areas. This is still kind of wet, so you could wait or you could just go for it. I should probably wait. But I'll show you at least what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create these like boxy sections like this. And if you paint into the bear, don't worry. The bear is a dark color, so you can always re-outline your scarf. That's no big deal. And then I'm going to do vertical lines this way. So like this, 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 and this. Just to give you an idea. You can do any designs that you want. If it's wet, it's okay. You can let it dry, you can go for it. So with a plaid design, you do horizontal lines and vertical lines. So these are going to be my vertical lines here. And again, it's okay if you get some of this red on your bear. You can use that dark color and kind of repaint it. It's no problem. Try to stay inside the lines on the edges though. And you might need a second coat. Just have fun with these details. So I'm just kind of filling this in first. I want you to be happy with one color before you move on with a plaid design. So just take your time and enjoy these details. Again, it's okay if you get any of this paint on the black bear. You can do touch-ups after and just fix it. So that's what I'm going to do. So don't worry too much. And if you need a minute to dry, give it a minute to dry. I'm going to let that dry and I'll show you another detail we can play with. Okay, I'm not going to touch it anymore. I'm going to let it dry. If you want to mix like a darker brown for the a brown color for the underside of the nose, you could try that. So you could mix a little yellow and orange together for like a lighter brown. And what you're going to do is you're going to leave just like a lighter landing strip right on the top of the nose, like this. And then this is all going to be a darker color here. So you can decide what you want this color to be. And if I need to lighten this up, I will. But see how I created, there's like a little bit, I'm going to make it more orangey. And I'm going to fix my nose too. My nose is not perfectly shaped, so it looks funny right now. But I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to fix my nose after. And then I'll put my smile in, and that will help the nose look more natural. But you can see I did a darker color on the underside, and I kind of have that lighter landing strip on top. That's the top of the nose. I'm going to fix my nose shape so it looks a little bit better in a minute. So I did a coat of paint for the scarf. I'm letting that dry. And I'm going to go in and do some other stripes on the scarf in a minute. But I went and added some of the darkness on the nose, on the snout rather. But I can come in and fix my nose as well. The nose is kind of comes wide. There, I fixed my nose. There's going to be a smile that we're going to put on the bear, but we'll do that after the face is painted. If you want to give your bear kind of two little, you could do white dots for the eyes if you wanted to. I'm going to do white and black. I'm just going to do white first, and then I'll put little black dots nearby. So if you want to do little white dots for the eyes, and then we'll put a little bit of black on the inside, that's fine. He's going to look creepy for a minute, but I'm going to put a smile on him. And so I just did two little white dots, kind of top side of his head, close to his nose. And we will add some highlighting to the bear's fur as well. So I just did a couple things to paint and let dry as things are going here. But take a look at your bear's nose. Excuse me. You can kind of play with how this is rounded and etc. It's a little rounded in between his eyes. If you want to play with the tip of your brush, adding a little bit of like bear fur, a little bit of detail accenting. There's some bear kind of scratchy fur on the top of his head. With a lighter brush, you can add a little bit of outlining. I'll bring this down a little bit so you can see it. So this is like a light yellow. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of scratch. We can add a little bit with a little bit of black on the tip of our brush or a little bit of the bear color. With a really skinny brush and you have a little bit of a point, you can add a little bit of kind of fuzzy bear fur just kind of coming off here and there to make him look a little fuzzy. Just on the edges, just give him a little bit of fur. Maybe on the top of his ears, just give him a little bit of stray hairs here and there. If you want to make him look a little fuzzy, just give a little bit of fur like detail. You can make him as scraggly or as polished as you wish. You don't have to add this fur everywhere, but you can just add a little here and there. Just the tip of your brush, a couple hairs straggling here and there. And we'll do an accent detail after this, but I just want to, if you want to add any kind of straggly little scratches kind of just coming off here and there. Find the right brush though. Spin your brush on your plate, have a nice fine tip. Do some light hand work, just a little 1-2 kind of coming off the edge of the bear to make him look a little furry. I'm going to push this up so you can see. I'm going to add a smile too. I haven't forgotten about the bear smile. I'm going to wait till his face dries. A little bit of fur. You don't have to go all the way down either. You can just add a little here or there. It's fine. Again, I'm going to use this bear color to kind of outline the scarf at the very end. But you can see at the top of the head, I used like a little bit of a lighter accent color to add a little bit of highlighting. And that was like this yellowy color, light yellow. So if you wanted to kind of accent any of this fur-like detail on the edges, kind of like where the light hits. So on the left side of his body, I'm just going to do a little bit of kind of fur-like, just a little on the left. And I have this zoomed down pretty good. But I'm just doing a little bit, and this is where you can kind of give him a little bit of highlighting on his fur. If you wanted to kind of do his arm area a little bit here. I lost his arm a little bit. I don't know where it went. I'm going to outline his arm a little bit here. So I outlined his arm a little here. This is just a little bit of highlighting off his fur. So you can see how that helps a little bit. You did a little around his ears. If you want to just do a little bit on his face, you can just do a little on his face. It's really primarily on the left side of his body because that's where the light is hitting, on the left side. You could do a little bit of a line on the top of his nose. So it's really kind of on the left side of his body because that's where the light is hitting. And maybe on his toes, on the left side of his toes. Maybe on the left side of his legs, right? That's where the light is hitting. Had a little bit of kind of fur like texture. Okay, so you can consider that. If you have a little bit of a white dot for an eye, I'm going to do a tiny black dot on the inside of the white. Now my bear's looking down. I don't know if I want him looking down, you guys. I think I want him looking like normal. So I'm going to move the dot up the middle of his eye. There we go. So he's looking kind of out now. And I'm going to add a little smile. So a little line, a little smile. And I can always fix that. I used a small brush, which is super tricky. I'm letting my scarf dry. I'm going to do more scarf work. But you can see how the bear has evolved and he's coming to life. So cute. If you want to put a little pumpkin or something down here next to the bear, I'll zoom out so you can see the full picture. You're welcome to add other elements, right? We talked about that. So let me see here. I'm going to do kind of a bluish red color for the scarf, for like the vertical. I'm going to do like a kind of a purple maybe. I don't know. For the horizontal stripes right here on my scarf. So I'm just going to go for it and be brave. I'm going to make it a little thicker. Do another one down here. I don't really do plaid that often, so it's just about doing consistent horizontal and vertical, and then I'll do some like white lined accent details on top. It should be kind of fun. But do whatever you want for the scarf. I sometimes do polka dots. I sometimes do stripes. Anything goes. And then I'm going to do, oh boy, vertical here. And I'm going to try to make these all the same width if I can. And again, we're here just to have fun. We don't aim for perfection, even though many of us want it to look, you know, as even as possible. But we just go into this knowing we just do our best. This scarf looks really warm, at least, you guys. It looks really warm. And I can outline the scarf with black for the bear color after to really just make it more crisp. I'm just going to do a line right here to kind of show one from another. So that's fun. And I'm just going to, if I want to do another coat, I can do another coat, or I can just let it be. I'm just trying to get these to be a little even. I got to be careful on the edges up here by the background though. So I'm going to let that scarf detail dry. I'm probably going to do some like little white tassels or something on the bottom with this like lighter yellow. Just because I can. Oops, don't get water on your paint. From the thing, Megan. Okay, I'm just going to do with the tip of my brush, just do little kind of tasselies coming down. There, I just did like fun little tassels coming down. They're nothing crazy. They're a little watery, which is what it is, but I'm just going to embrace it. Let it dry, not touch it. I'm going to let my plaid dry, and I'm going to do some white lines on top. The top of the scarf can have a little bit of like a lighter line detail because that's where the light is hitting. So if you want to put like a little bit of a yellower, lighter line towards the top of the scarf, it adds a little bit of light for consideration. I added a little bit of a lighter line. In the inspiration, it's more blended. So if I want to use my finger and kind of like smudge it down a little bit, I can. The line below it's a little wet, so I'm not going to mess too much with it. But you can, again, we're all working on different details. So take your time. Do what feels right for you. Everyone's going to be working on different things at this point in class. I'm just going to fix his mouth, got a little big here, so I'm just going to fix his mouth in this one little spot. There we go. So it's okay to paint over something to make a modification. Totally fine. Don't forget you can put a little bit of a lighter line on the top of the bear's nose to highlight that. And if you want to make the bridge of the nose a little lighter, you can consider that as well to highlight the lightness. So there's lots of different details that you can consider on how you bring in depth techniques and light sources into your painting. I'm going to try to incorporate a little bit of kind of white detail work to the scarf because I'm just inspired to do that. So I'm just going to use a little bit of a white tip of my, just to do a little bit of fun outlining on different areas. So the outside of the red. And in the inspiration, they have it on the other one too. So it's kind of fun to just take a few minutes to do some additional details if you wish. But just use a small brush if you want to do any details. You could just be happy with what you're doing now. There's actually some red details too. This scarf is very detail oriented. And sometimes in these classes we do really simple things and sometimes we do really specific things. So it's always fun just to be open-minded to like how you want to evolve your painting. Sometimes you may just want to go simple. Sometimes you may want to add in other things. It's totally up to you. But make sure you're happy with your bear's eyes. I did white with a little bit of black, right? Maybe I do a little bit of a lighter line down the left side of the scarf to highlight it because that's where the light is hitting. The top and the left because that is where the light is hitting, right? Kind of fun. I'm so excited to see your artwork. You're welcome to email me your artwork. You're welcome to post it in the chat community. You don't need to share it, but we always love seeing everybody's, especially, and we'll, at the end of this class, we'll do a quick show and tell. The folks on the recording won't be able to see it, but I encourage you to join our Patreon space if you're interested in seeing others' artwork there. We'd love to show it to you. And we'd love to see yours as well. But I'm going to go ahead and, for anyone that's watching the recording, I want to thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. Feel free to join our Patreon community, even for free. We have a really low monthly charge, but if you want to join our Patreon community for free, we just would love to have you either way. But thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you at future art classes.